You're scrolling through Zillow at 2 a.m., desperately searching for something, anything you can afford in this absolutely insane housing market. Then suddenly you see it. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, actual walls, and a roof for $35,000. Your first thought, this has to be a scam. Maybe it's haunted.
Or worse yet, it could be in Idaho.
There are literally dozens of Nevada towns where you can buy an entire house for less than a new Honda Civic. We're talking about real towns with real people selling real houses for prices that would make your grandparents think we've traveled back to 1955. Dyer is the place where dreams go to die. Population 259, median home price $49,000. Elevation 5,600 feet. Reasons to live there pending. It's like the town is constantly reminding you of your mortality. Here's what's wild. People actually retire here, like on purpose. They sell their California homes for millions and buy a place, then spend the rest on air conditioning and wondering what they've done. It's a ghost town with ghosts that are still alive, technically. Living here means accepting that your neighbors are people who fled society for reasons they won't discuss. Dyer is so close to California, it can smell the desperation, but still maintains Nevada's special brand of nothing. And a unique position as Nevada's gateway to nowhere in particular, that's perfectly positioned between nowhere and nowhere else. It's a town that exists purely because maps need something to put there. The GPS gives up halfway there and just tells you to continue into the void. It's like Nevada's Bermuda Triangle, except instead of disappearing, you just wish you would. This town is so small the Census Bureau occasionally forgets it exists. The town's website, yes, they have one, proudly states they're not a ghost town, which is like saying you're not dead. The town's biggest employer is disability checks. It's so isolated that Amazon Prime doesn't even pretend to deliver in 2 days.
Because the average resident can still remember when wood was invented, Dyer has no schools because they thought they'd be unnecessary. However, because of the modern medicinal miracle that is Viagra and the ability of the high desert's air to keep eggs fresh for an extended period of time, the 14 children who live there must wake up before dawn to wait in the dark for the bus to take them on their 1.5-hour trek one way to school, secretly hoping a windowless van might stop by and give them a ride. When they return home after another 1.5-hour bus ride, if they need any help, they can always go to the community library, which has modern computers for them to use over a dial-up connection through AOL and where they can keep up with school friends through their MySpace accounts.
You've got no mail.
The main business is selling gas to confused Californians who took a wrong turn. The town has a gas station that charges prices that should be illegal and a bar where the average customer age is deceased, that looks like it was decorated by someone's chain-smoking aunt in 1987.
The bathroom is listed as a historical site in the Nevada registry because it was reported that a man once laid a deuce so long in there that people came all the way from Wyoming to marvel in its grandeur. It's also a bit of an allure for tourists because it somehow has the ability to retain the smell of many of the nuclear tests that happened throughout Nevada during the Cold War.
They've got a post office that's open 2 hours a day, 3 days a week, staffed by someone who also runs the general store. The postmaster knows everyone's business because they literally handle everyone's business. Privacy died here in 1987. The post office is also the social club, town hall, and therapy center. It has one guy named Bob who everyone asks when they have problems, and Bob is tired of your shit.
The town's sheriff and deputy, his son, are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless they went fishing. These two intrepid arms of the law are in charge of patrolling about 2,000 miles of desert nothingness, mainly looking for vehicles that have hit a cow on a road, or trying to track down one of the 14 kids who tried to walk to civilization to escape the oppressive boredom because they're too young to drink. When it comes to voting, it's pretty straightforward. Just check the box next to the Republican and move on, and any proposition that might bring about change gets a hard NO. The mayoral race is really the only item on the ballot that anyone's interested in. Should you vote to keep the sheriff employed as mayor for his 22nd term in office, or vote for Billy Bob, his second cousin twice removed through a complicated mishaps on Halloween involving his grandmother's stepsister's brother's nearsighted son, a cow, and too many shots of Crown Royal? Most people don't like controversy, so every year the sheriff wins with 2 votes for him and his cousin gets 1. And Billy Bob has been bitter about this for 22 years, and this ain't gonna change anytime soon. But most people think Billy Bob is just bitter because he lives on the hill without power, and the electric co-op hasn't sent a power line out there yet because his rabid dogs won't let them get near his house. Now let's talk emergencies. Don't bother calling 911. It will route you to a Las Vegas emergency dispatch center that will just slow things down. It's better instead to just call Betty, Bob, Bill, or Sue directly, because everyone in town has everyone's number. God forbid you're not on good terms with any of them.
They've got a volunteer fire department that's never busy because there's nothing to burn except dreams.
The town's volunteer fire department is also its medical emergency responders, which means that if you need immediate medical attention, a group of octogenarians who were trained how to do CPR and drive a stick-shift 1957 Ford ambulance will be there as soon as they can find the keys and their teeth. True emergencies may require that they call for a life flight helicopter whose bill will bankrupt even a millionaire after insurance.
This town is so small they don't have a grocery store. They have a general store that sells everything from ammunition to zebra cakes, because those are apparently the 2 essential food groups in rural Nevada. The nearest Walmart is 190 miles away, which means every shopping trip is basically an expedition that requires planning, supplies, and possibly a will.
Dyer's only 4 hours by car from Las Vegas, and even less than that from the border of California, through 2 of the most treacherous mountain passes whose hairpin turns obstruct views of deer, cows, and the occasional Bigfoot standing in the middle of the road, leaving you only 2 options. 1, hit them and watch them meander away as your car is totaled in the middle of nowhere. Or 2, swerve to miss them and send your car flying off a 2,000-foot cliff into the abyss below. So many people never even make it to Dyer from Westgard Pass that it's commonly referred to as "what the fuck type of shit road is this?" by me every time I drive on it. Every year in July, Dyer prepares for its annual Doodah Parade Festival and Rodeo, which attracts literally dozens of people to join in the festivities and firework extravaganza.
What's amazing about Dyer is that it's actually in a beautiful area near the White Mountains, but no one cares because it's Dyer. It's actually kind of beautiful in that desolate, post-apocalyptic way. Plus, the night sky here is insane. Like, you can see the Milky Way so clearly you'll start believing in aliens, which might explain some of the locals.
A lake, taking a whore bath. That's when you wash the pits and bits. Then out of nowhere, I get sucked up by a giant vacuum cleaner hose. And I land on the ship. I woke up, I had to pee like a camel. So I started peeing, and one of the gray aliens slapped the wall and pointed at the bowl. So I got the hint, I kind of ducked, walked over the bowl, peed in it. 40 little gray aliens watched me pee in a steel bowl. Meanwhile, 40 gray aliens take turns gently batting my knockers. And they were real respectful about it. They were in a line, and then one by one they'd step up, slap a knocker, and then go to the end of the line, wait for another turn. Look, it wasn't my worst Wednesday night.
The properties here are wild. We're talking about 1920s houses that haven't been updated since, well, 1920. The housing here is frontier chic. Houses that look like they're from a Western, but not the romantic kind, the kind where everyone dies of dysentery. The real estate listings here are poetry. One says, "Bring your tools and imagination," which means bring a bulldozer and hallucinogens. The houses here are a mixed bag. You've got everything from actual nice manufactured homes to structures that look like they might be a house or might be where they filmed a horror movie. One listing mentions unlimited potential, which is technically true when you're starting from zero. One listing boasts mountain views and privacy, which is code for you can scream and no one will hear you. One listing advertises low-maintenance landscaping, which means the desert already killed everything, so you don't have to worry about it. Another advertises ultimate privacy, which is true because even satellites don't bother checking. One property listing just has a photo of dirt, but you know what? Nevada has created these pocket dimensions where the American dream didn't just die, it was cremated and scattered in the desert. The truth is, these towns represent something bigger than just cheap real estate. They're monuments to American stubbornness, places that refuse to die even when they have every reason to.
The American dream may be dead, but thanks to towns like Dyer, you can still buy its corpse.
Whether that's depressing or inspiring is entirely up to you.
You may say, yes, Dyer sounds like a lovely place to settle. And settling is exactly what it would be if you had any other option that wasn't court-ordered.